Probably still the same, the raw emotion after the game, if I'm honest. Wee bit of disappointment and frustration. You had an opportunity late on in the game. I'm not blaming me, Bruce, but for me, you've got to be hitting target for there. It's an opportunity. So, bit of disappointment, but I think it's important to try and take the positives from the game. Clean sheet, which is a big positive. That obviously comes with a point as well, but it's hard not to reflect in the game and look at the points we dropped from obviously the missed opportunity. Yeah, but I would, 100%. I think the defensive unit, but it's the boys. You start defending from the front to the back, but the defensive unit's got to take a lot of credit because they had a lot of balls, cross balls to deal with, a lot of set plays to deal with, especially in the first half against the wind. So we've got to take huge credit for that, and it's fine margins. The games that we've been losing of late have been like kind of 1-0s. So we're not too bad in the defensive front, if I'm honest. We probably need to put a wee bit more responsibility on the forward areas, a wee bit more demands on the forward players at the club, the offensive players at the club, and myself as well. So we need to start scoring goals if we want to win games of football. I think there's a wee bit of that, to be fair. I think when you're not winning games of football, it's hard. The self-esteem takes a knock, the group's confidence takes a knock, momentum goes the opposite way. So I think there's 3 or 4 different variables that we've got to be mentally strong and deal with them, and it's during times of adversity that we learn a lot about ourselves and we learn a lot about the group also, and we're going through a huge challenging period, but one that I'm confident we can get ourselves out of. Yeah, I think he's at Pittodrie, and even Barry saying that, I think his record going into the Rangers game, I think he was at 4 games, he'd beat them twice, drew once, something along the lines. So Barry's got a fantastic record going into that game yesterday. He's had a lot of football, his opponents had a lot of football also, to be fair. I will caveat that with that, but they're coming, let's be honest, they're playing against the bottom of the league. So they're going to come, they're going to have a go, and they're going to try and win that game of football. So opposed to maybe sitting in a mid to low block, their game plan's going to change coming up against Livingston at home. A little bit, but I think the position we find ourselves in, Jamie, we've got to win games of football. So I think we've got to put their fears to bed in terms of not losing. I don't want to be the team that's going up there not to lose a game of football. I think we need to get points on the board, we need to score goals, so we need to go there with the opportunity to win that game. But again, you only win games of football based on your defensive performance. Yes, you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, but if you're shipping goals, you're never going to win games of football. So I'd imagine it's going to be quite a tight game of football. And the boys that he's got a really, really good group of players. There's a lot of talent within that Aberdeen changing room, and they'll be disappointed from the game yesterday. They're probably a wee bit disappointed from the European run, but I think there's a lot of positives being an Aberdeen supporter in terms of yesterday was a really, really tight game of football. Some of their performances in European football has been very, very good. So, and I'm under no illusions how hard the game's going to be tomorrow, Wednesday. This is going to sound like I'm trying to sugarcoat things here. I think the league, in terms of the standard in the leagues, became a lot more competitive outside the top 2. But even when you look at Hearts' result on Saturday, you could maybe say, well, that's not necessarily true. But I think there's not much between most teams in the league outside the Old Firm. I think it's been a really competitive league. There's a lot of teams playing a different style of football this year. I felt there's a 3-5-2 feel to it. That then for me lends the game to being a wee bit more direct at times, a wee bit more long ball. It's difficult. But I think most managers are under a lot of pressure. I've been very, very outspoken, and I'm not sitting saying this because I'm sitting 12th in the league. I think the size of the league hampers also. I think there is less pressures on teams on the relegation front, and in terms of what that does to the finances, you'd maybe see a different approach. I would think the culture of hiring and firing managers lends itself to short-term results. So I think by doing that, the game becomes a wee bit more risk averse in terms of what you're trying to do. And then with the game becoming a wee bit more risk averse, I think the game becomes a wee bit more direct. And then maybe at that point the product drops on the part because of the game coming a wee bit more risk averse. So that's kind of my take on it, whether I was sitting top six, bottom of the league, fourth in the league, whatever it is. That's kind of my take on it. I've been quite vocal on, I think a bigger league would take a wee bit of pressure off managers down the bottom end of the table. I think we've got more than enough quality within Scottish football, if you look at the Championship, to have a bigger league. I think sometimes the games can become a wee bit mundane, 3-4 times a season, then maybe add in cup football into that. You're maybe playing each other 4 or 5 times a season. You know each other inside out. So does that help the product? I would hand in heart say I don't think it does, but I wouldn't go as far to say that I think the product on the park's not great, because I think it's a very, very competitive league this year. And when we get a competitive league, it's easy to knock the product on the park, whereas if you look at previous seasons, maybe in the Championship, there was a huge positive story about how competitive the league is. Now you're looking at how competitive the league is, maybe outside the Old Firm, it's suddenly perceived as a negative. I'm not really on that boat, if that makes sense. But I think the leagues became harder this year. I felt it. But I do think bigger leagues would maybe help that as well. And again, a wee bit job security for managers, if I'm honest, because I do think there's a different approach to going into clubs now. You're not getting that time to bring your own brand of football and develop young players, look at the academy players. It's instant results, and that probably comes from a social media culture spilling over into the stands. Nobody through injury. Sean Kelly came off on Saturday with a bit of a knock, so Sean's going to train tomorrow. He's going to rest today, rested yesterday, done a bit of recovery yesterday. He'll do an extended recovery today, and then we'll assess Sean tomorrow morning. But really Sean's only doubt from the weekend that was involved in the matchday squad.